What is up, everybody? I'm be doing like a short video. I'm basically ranking the every seasons of Dexter, well, except for Original Sin, which I got like a few episodes in and I haven't finished it. So, but anyways, I'm gonna start with the Dexter original season 1 through 8, and then include New Blood. All right, let's get started. Coming in the last place, which should not be no surprise, is season 8, the final season. This was an abomination ending. I mean, the beginning started off fine, with the whole thing about like Deb doing like all drugs and stuff, because we could tell that's how she's gonna react after what just happened at the end of season 7. But other than that, after where Dexter and Deb, she drove into a lake. And then the whole season just was wrapped up differently. Like Deb just accepts him for who he is. And then you have this kid, I forgot his name, Zach, I believe. That Dexter's kind of being a mentor to him. You got this daughter brought in that she's like the real truth about the Harry code and all that. And Harry was no. So really, who created the code, which is some strange woman brought into a new season. And then the villain's obviously the weakest. You got that cheap Ryan Gosling looking dude. And this, I really don't want to. There's literally no pause. Say the final episode is garbage. Whew. Coming in number 8 is going to be Dexter New Blood. The first episode started off, I was finally hooked back on the show. Until it goes on, just regular Dexter. Until the very last few minutes of the final season. And it's just as bad as the final season was. I'm not kidding. Anyways, they were this close to get better and have a better ending for Dexter. And then so we got trapped twice with 2 horrible endings. But the only positive I'll say is the first episode and Clancy Brown's villain's pretty terrifying, I'll say. And it's a season that I really don't care revisiting very often. Coming in number 7 is going to be season 6. Now, this is the first season that we start to have some serious issues, but it's still a watchable season. Travis Marshall, the Doomsday Killer, was a pretty gnarly villain, especially all the kills the Death Angel, and the bodies are in a parade of a horse, which is terrifying. Anyways, the first, the Doomsday Killer storyline was fine, a solid Dexter season. Then you get to the very end, where Deb's in love with Dexter. What the shit? And then, and she's the reason why she witnessed him killing Travis Marshall. Yeah. Anyways, coming in number 6 is actually going to be season 7. And it's weird because a lot of people put season 7 as very below season 8, New Blood, all that. And I can understand why, but to me it's always been an underrated season. The great part is, the Isaac Serco storyline, where it's literally a mobster versus Dexter. I mean, how awesome is that? He's he's in my top 5 favorite villains in the entire show. And then you have the whole storyline with him and Hannah, which is pretty interesting. I know people don't like her character, but I've always do. It's been a while since I've seen the show, so I'm trying to like remember like all the bits, negatives, and the positives. I'll say the storyline of Isaac Circle was the best part, and it got cut like shortly, like around episode 8, I believe it is. You have like Quinn being a moron in this season, falling in love with a Russian stripper, I believe. And then you had the whole thing where LaGuardia's finally investigating Dexter, and the last episode was pretty intense when Deb had a choice, either just to walk away, and LaGuardia kept pressuring her to shoot Dexter, and she just has no idea like what to do in the last minute, and then she shot LaGuardia, which I think for her she could have just walked away instead of like dealing with all the problems like with Dexter, because now he's on his. She shouldn't have been like just like walking away, let Dexter do it on his own, like she's done like helping him. My opinion, but nonetheless, season 7, an underrated season of the show. Going in at number 5 is going to be season 5, and I wouldn't say it's like a very like flawed season, which pretty much the only flaw I have is pretty much with the way they wrapped up the season, where Deb is like literally behind the curtains, had a chance to get Dexter finally, and then the whole show was like, well, no, we successfully did it. Now we have to make a longer season arc, which is that's the only negative I'll say. But other than that, a really, really good follow-up to the 4th season of Dexter. You have the whole Jordan chase and all the rapists, and they end up killing the girls in the barrels, electrocuting them, which is awesome. An awesome storyline, and fucked up, I'll say. But yeah, season 5 is a really, really good season. You have the whole storyline with Lumen and Dexter, which the storyline was, on paper, was really good. To me, I wasn't like hooked on or fascinated like everyone else was. So, yeah. But nonetheless, season 5, still a really solid, good season. Coming in at number 4, which is unpopular, but it's going to be season 3 of Dexter, the Miguel Prado season. And this has always been underrated. And like I said, it's mostly because of Jimmy Smits Miguel Prado. Well, partially it's because I love Jimmy Smits, because I love him since Sons of Anarchy. So that's probably the reason why. But the whole storyline with the whole like he's like Miguel's kind of Dexter's ally, and Dexter believes like he could finally be an ally to someone together, like kill people together, and right at the very end, Miguel's been fucking with Dexter the entire time, with fake cow blood. All that was pretty intense. And the weakest part is the Skinner storyline, which in my opinion, I don't think neither of us will remember the Skinner. We'll mostly remember remember Miguel Prado being the whole bad guy in the season. Other than that, so that's a tiny negative I have with this season. But nonetheless, it's always been one of my favorite seasons of the show. Coming in at number 3 is going to be season 1. A fantastic kickoff to the show. The whole introduction of Dexter, finding out his origin, introducing Deborah, Batista, and back when Dokes was around. This season is mostly about Dexter being the prey. Like the whole riddles and all that stuff. It's like this killer knows what Dexter is. He knows he kills people. And we're just trying to figure out like who it is. By the time Deborah gets to a relationship with Rudy, which we all know he's the ice truck killer. But we don't know like what's his motive, and eventually his real name is Brian Moser, aka Dexter's brother. And he's been like tracking him down, finally reunite with him, feeling like Dexter could actually have a family ally together, like they could kill people together. But as soon as the end, he tries to kill Deborah, his foster sister, and he loves her so much. So Dexter had to kill him. And speaking of that, Brian Moser is one of the few villains that Dexter actually feels guilty of killing him. But other than that, a fantastic start off to the show. Number 2 is going to be season 2. This is a fantastic season. The whole storyline where it's Dexter versus Dokes, where Dokes is just now constantly watching him everywhere he goes, even at bowling night. And then you get to the very middle where Dokes knows Dexter's been fucking with him, and you get the whole greatest part where Dexter's like, no matter what you do, always be one step ahead of you. And then headbutts him, and then it's like, whew, I kind of want to watch the season again. Then you have the whole storyline, which people really not like her character, but Lila was a fantastic part of the season and made season 2 more awesome. Where she's kind of like her mentor slash, and of course, Rita gets pissed, finds out that Dexter slept with her. And then Dexter fell into the spider web, and she ends up being the bad guy by the end of the season. And then she's like a venomous spider. Like, you have Batista, like, falling for her. Even Masuka almost fell for her. Yeah, this has always been a great season between Lila and Dokes. And I really wish we had Dokes for very longer. Like in season 1 or 2, you had Dokes shot someone, and then said like, oh, he had a gun on me, so I shot him. Little self-defense. They could have been potential of keeping Dokes alive much longer. And maybe understanding why Dexter kills guilty people. But nevertheless, if there was one character that was taken away way too soon, it's James Dokes. But even the whole hunting on the Bay Harbor Butcher, even though it's in season 2, it was incredible. But my number 1, and should be no surprise to everyone, this is most people's number 1, is season 4, the Trinity Killer season. This is one of the intense season of television I have ever seen, which I have a ranking of like Breaking Bad season 4, Sons of Anarchy season 4, and then Dexter season 4, just battling of my number 1 favorite season of television of all time. The best. There's so many things to talk about, which I'm gonna start out with the best villain of this show, one of the greatest villains in TV history of John Lithgow's Arthur Mitchell, Trinity Killer. The whole storyline where there's all these girls, these deaf girls in the bathtub, whole mothers jumping themselves, and then father's getting smashed by a hammer in the head. And this season where Dexter, he's married, he has a family, and he's got a baby now to take care of, as well as 2 stepchildren. And this beginning where Deb gets shot, Lundy gets killed, where Dexter knows he's a monster, he knows he has to hunt him down for what he did, until he finds out the Trinity Killer is a husband and a father, and he's just letting him breathe for a while, and maybe learn something from him to become a better husband and a better father. It's a brilliant storyline of letting a killer monster live for letting him breathe for a while just to learn from him. As you know, Trinity Killer is a fucked up person. He had this whole build the houses. He kidnaps little boys, calls them Arthur, and buries them in cement to bury his innocence of what happened when he was a kid. And Trinity Killer's just basically killing everyone a decade after a decade to recreate the death of what happened to his family. It's just a wicked storyline. Let's forget to mention. Oh yeah, and the LaGuardia and Batista are married, which I think they're like the best part. I feel that's like the best part of LaGuardia and Batista. Oh yeah, but like the end, Deborah eventually finds out that Brian Moser's Dexter's brother. I love how Dexter was just like, "Oh, yeah, no, that's crazy. Yeah, Brian's my brother. Did you just find anything else?" And it's so strange that I never brought that up like around the later seasons. But nonetheless, the finale of season 4 is one of the heartbreaking, like crazy stuff you've ever seen of television. Anyways, Dexter, 4th season, a flawless season, incredible season, and it's a fact, the best season of Dexter. So let me know how will you guys rank them? Do you agree, or you have like kind of like disagrees, or you know? But nonetheless, thank you guys so much for watching, and see ya.